Good morning. I'm Bob Korvas, Chairman of the Prospect Heights Water Committee, and I'm here today with some of our vendors at the Water Forum 2017. We have Ryan Snelten and Luke Snelten, fourth generation, and they'll tell you a little bit about what they're presenting today for the benefit of our residents. Ryan?
Sure. Thank you. Pretty much we're just here to inform the folks who live in this area that having a water well is actually a benefit and asset to your property. With that is also a responsibility, and we just are here to educate the public on how to maintain a well system and ultimately what they can do and what they can look out for to really keep everything working in optimal condition. Safety of having a well, chlorinations of the well, service calls to come and make sure everything is up to snuff, and like I was presented with, we've been in the area for 4 generations, and going back to our grandfathers have serviced this area since 1923. So we're still, still local, still family owned. Like you said, my cousin Luke here, he's been with us for coming up 7-8 years now, and look forward to servicing this community for the next 40-50 years. All right, I'll give it back.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate you coming here and spending time to help the residents of Prospect Heights.
Anytime.
Good morning. I'm Bob Korvas with the Prospect Heights Water Committee as chairman. I welcome Andrew Wilson, Angel Soft Water, and he can tell you a few words about things that he's here today to help the residents with respect to helping improve their water quality. Andrew?
Hi. Basically, we're here today to teach people how important it is to test your water. Water testing is the very root of any water treatment, and it's recommended that you get an independent laboratory test from an EPA certified facility that can actually test your well water. The EPA tells well owners that once a year you really need to do a thorough test. It usually runs around $300, and that you can get a full understanding of what's in your water. Then once you know what's in your water, you can bring it to a water treatment company like ours or another company in order to tell them this is what's in my water and this is what I want out. A good water treatment company should be able to teach you what exactly are the contaminants that might be found in your water, both that are scary and or that are just aesthetic. What we find in Prospect Heights is actually most people's water is extremely clean, extremely pure in regards to the purity and whether or not it's going to cause human health. There's virtually none of that in Prospect Heights. So we really love the well water in Prospect Heights area just because Mother Nature has done an amazing job cleaning it. The only problem that people do have is an aesthetic issue, and our company's goal is really to help you understand what technologies are out there to address the issues that are at hand. One of the great documents that you might want to take a look at is a document from the Department of Public Health which talks about iron bacteria. That's actually what this little poster is all about. It talks about what is iron bacteria. This is Prospect Heights' number 2 problem that people wrestle with after needing a water softener. They deal with this orange slime, a rotten egg smell, and staining. And so come on down or give us a call at some point, and we'd be happy to actually teach you all about iron bacteria and calcium that's in your water, and hopefully we can help you get that aesthetic stuff out of the water if you need some help with that. Again, my name is Andrew Wilson with Angel Water. We hope to educate you any way we can, and that's about it. So hopefully that helps you guys out.
Great, Andrew. Thank you for putting forth some time and effort to come out today. We appreciate it, and the residents of Prospect Heights do as well. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Good morning, residents. Bob Korvas, chairman of the Prospect Heights Water Committee at the 2017 Forum. We're with resident Kurt Giehler, who's done a lot of work with water wells and systems, and I think you'll find what he has to offer very interesting, and he's available for your help. So I'll give this over to Kurt, and he could explain a little bit about why he's here today. Kurt?
Thank you. Thanks, Bob. The reason I wanted to present my system here is I had done this about 25 years ago, and I had a problem with my well water. My well water was just, frankly, was just awful, and literally made me sick. And I didn't want to tolerate it, and I wasn't exactly getting a whole lot of help from any of the other agencies, etc. So I just basically took it upon myself to recreate my own system, something that would be very, 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 very low maintenance. So I engineered this system here. I'm an architect by training, and this system here, while it does have some significant upfront costs, anywhere from $5,000 to $6,000, assuming you're starting from scratch, but the annual maintenance costs on it are roughly $50 a year. And then including electricity, I run through 3 bags of salt a year for the water softener, which is over here. I have an iron remover. I have a 120-gallon fiberglass pressure tank. I chlorinate as an assurance that I will never ever have bacteria in my system again. And over here, these smaller items here, that's the typical pressure switch, overflow. This here is an air injector, and one of the precepts for this whole entire system is to use what we have for natural resources, which in this case is oxygen that comes free in our air, and inject our water coming in from the well with that oxygen, and that oxygen reacts to the dissolved minerals and it comes in here, ends up in this water tank, has 20 minutes of contact time, gets taken back out when there's demand, goes in the iron remover, and this iron remover acts somewhat as a similar to a pool filter. And that pool filter just recharges itself. I think mine runs probably every 2 weeks, as does my water softener, by the way. And then all of the minerals are just flushed down the drain, and then I end up having pretty much pure water. Now, some of the things I have over on this side here are not so necessary. I'm just anal about a few of these things, like I have a hot water recirculation loop and additional carbon filters. The carbon filter basically gives me water that's the exact same thing that is done when you go to Jewel, or well, we don't have a Dominic's anymore, but any grocery store that's selling water when you get from their machine, it's going through this carbon filter. That carbon filter, the media inside there's a little 10-inch filter, runs me about $15. It's good for 5,000 gallons. In my case, granted I'm only one person living in the house, that will last me anywhere from 5 to 7 years. So in a normal household where you probably have minimum 2 kids, husband and wife, you might want to change that every year, every couple of years. But $15, it doesn't really amount to much. So that's pretty much what I have here. I'm very happy with my system. I say the only issue, I think when I did this originally, it was about $2,000, and now it's probably, I'm saying between $5,000 and $6,000 if you were to start from scratch. But some people, and most people will probably they'll have a hot water heater already, they probably have a water softener, and this tank here does come, right now I have a 120-gallon tank, and it comes in an 80-gallon, and I think there's another size smaller than that, depending on how much space you have. Larger is better because it makes your well pump turn on less. There's less wear and tear on the pump. So with that, I guess I will turn this back over to Bob, and he can introduce you to some other vendors here. Thank you so much.
Kurt, thank you again for coming out this year, and you're a great resource for our residents.
Thank you so much, Bob. Appreciate it.
Bob Korvas, chairman of the Prospect Heights Water Committee, here this morning with Dawn Simmons and her son John. Dawn's been a realtor, #1 realtor in Prospect Heights sales, and here since 2001. She'll give us a little insight on what she's seeing in the marketplace with respect to the demographics of today's home buyers and sellers. Dawn?
Thank you. I've been selling homes in Prospect Heights since '01, like you just said, and the well water sometimes is an issue. What we try to push is that we have no water bill and it's free. A lot of people are good with that. Younger generation likes it a lot better than the older generation that is moving. We have older couples that are moving in and want ranches now, but Prospect Heights, they don't want to deal with the well water, so we got both scenarios going on with it. Generally right now though, everyone coming in, we can push that we have the big lots. You don't have to go all the way out to Long Grove or Hawthorne Woods. We're still generally close to everything, and that's where everyone would like to come then when they want a bigger land.
I'm Josh Simmons, Dawn's son. I've been working with her for about 3 years now, and I'll tell you a little more about the selling side aspect of having a well. So in Prospect Heights, obviously, all of us except one neighborhood have wells. And when we go to sell, built into our contracts, there's a clause that anyone with a well has to have their well inspected. Now, that's the seller's responsibility. So if you already own your home in Prospect Heights, that's on you. It costs about $200. and a guy will come out, they'll take a sample of your tap water, they'll send it to a lab and find out how much bacteria is in it, and as long as it's within the safe range, there's no issues. Sometimes, very rarely, we've had one over the past 17 years that came out with excessive range of bacteria. So that home, we had to just bleach the well, wasn't a big deal, retested it, and then it was all well.